Hey friends, thanks for tuning back in. Today I've got a good one for you. It's kind of mixed emotions for me, but we're going to dive right into it. So today is October 25th. It's Monday. It's a fresh start to the week. And last week we had some absolute craziness in the market. Some serious momentum. A few names that we traded. What was it? DWAC. PHUN fun. There was a couple other stocks that just exploded and ran kind of on the momentum of DWAC. And as you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, go back and watch the last video. Friday was a complete blowout for me, a disaster, down nearly 6 grand, actually more than that. So make sure to go check that one out. And it frustrated me so much because we had so much momentum, and here I am being red on the day, and big red on the day. And I know a lot of you can relate to that. I saw a lot of the comments from the last video, and a lot of you mentioned that you got caught in a similar situation, and some of those halts were very difficult to trade. So I'm sure plenty of people made some great money, but I know plenty of people lost money as well, and it's hard to swallow when we have such great momentum in the market in regards to the small cap trading world. So today I was anticipating, I think we all were, some continuation all from last week, from Thursday and Friday, for stocks to really move. And today I have to kind of give you a quick brief background on kind of last night. I've got the newborn, and I didn't get any sleep. Maybe if an hour here, an hour there, but not much at all. So naturally, I came to the market a little bit late, and when you're not in like prime condition, when you're not super mentally focused and ready, and you've got all your rules and setup and everything, then sometimes you don't perform well. But anyways. What I'm going to get into, of course, my trades right now, but I'm going to show you the rules that I set yesterday, because I told myself for my last big loss on Friday, we've got to create those rules, got to stick to them, and I'm going to show you how today was just rough on those rules. So I came into the market, and what I saw was a complete sell-off of all the names that were popping on Thursday and Friday. So here we have PHUN. Look at this. Look at this. I traded this a little bit. I know a lot of people got caught in this, but a huge move. And it stabilized in here. And pre-market today, it exploded, gapped up all the way up to 12 bucks. And look what happens when the market opens. Just a nasty sell-off. So I know there's probably lots of traders in here anticipating another big breakout, hopping in, maybe getting in pre-market, expecting a huge rip, and here we have a huge sell-off. So very hard to stomach this if you were trading this. That's not what you want to see for the continuation, and instead it was kind of reversed, and it sold off hard. I think the same was for DWAC. Let's see. Yeah, and so look at this, another huge sell-off. A move up pre-market, and boom, sell-off right into a halt. So you got, people got stuck in those halts to the downside. Not good, especially when they're expecting something big and went in with heavy share size. So very tough to deal with that. We'll see what tomorrow brings. I mean, it's still up huge in a sense, but depending on where you get in, that's what it's kind of all about. Anyways, today for me, this is what happened. I was late to the market, but I got in, and the only thing I saw that was kind of worthy of trading was BKKT. It looks like it had some news on it. So turns out to be some really great news in the sense that this company is pairing with MasterCard to accept or to use Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So big catalyst there. And today I just struggled with it, and I saw that I was moving here, great move, but I missed out on all that until I got to the market. So I really tried to trade it all in here. And every time I got in to anticipate kind of a breakout or a move up, I just was at the wrong time, wrong place. And I just kept, you know, I would cut my losses, but they were significant enough. So this is where I want to step into my rules, because we talk about rules a lot and how we need to stick to them. And today I didn't, okay? Yesterday I took some time to make 3 rules for myself. First one, max loss of $200. Now that is a tight loss for me. It's not very forgiving, but my idea was I was just coming off a huge loss, and I was thinking, you know, if I cross the $200 mark, I'm out. And next one was 50% share size. So what my balance was about 5,000. I only want to trade if I'm going into a trade with half that. So there was one or two times where I broke that and went slightly above. So not a complete break, but maybe using about like 60 to 70% of my capital. And then the third one was tried to end by 12 p.m. so that I could wrap things up and go off and enjoy the rest of the day and do some other stuff. And I didn't do that either. So what the mentality here was, going after that, taking that huge loss, you know, I'm telling myself I need to make the rules, right? I've made rules in the past, which have been good for the most part. And the problem is, when you have such strong momentum in the market like this, you have to understand the small cap trading world, the market changes, and you have to be able to adjust to that. There are periods where we go through weeks of just cold trades where there's not many movers in the market, not a whole lot to trade, and some stuff that just doesn't go up that much, you know. And then we have periods where sometimes we just have consistent runners that just explode, all within maybe 1, 2, 3 days, sometimes 5, sometimes a week. But then we eventually get a shift in the market. And so I think it was bad of me to make these rules right after that big loss with all this momentum. Because the good thing was in the sense that, like, okay, I realize I'm screwing up and I made a huge mistake. So the rules are a good thing to stick to, of course. The problem was the timing. To do that right now in a market that's very hot, I'm really limiting myself. And so what I want to get into on these trades is that, yeah, first rule, I didn't want to break that, but that was don't cross max of a $200 loss. Now, this is what happened. I went into a few trades and never crossed the $200 mark. Okay. Even trading BKKT a few times, I got down to about, like, what was it, 100? Let me look at the performance chart. Yeah, down to about, let's see, 122, 140. Okay, so all in this area with BKKT. And then here we go. I move on over to PETZ. Now this one popped up really quick. And I know I've seen the name before, and I know I've traded it in the past, and I know it's a former runner. I know it's gone on a huge runs in the past. Now my mistake was seeing this initial jump up, right? And I see the volume spike, and I saw it, and I guess because it was one of my earlier trades in the day, I just jumped on it. And the big mistake I made here was that I did not just take a breather, hold back for a moment before just jumping in and looking at the volume. Here was the biggest problem, was the volume. Sure, we had a spike right in here, but all morning long before that, there was no volume whatsoever. When there's no volume, you can't get in and out. It's very difficult. The spreads are usually a lot bigger and extremely, really hard to get in and out the price that you kind of want. And so anyways, with me jumping right into it, what happened here was that it just completely fell apart and the volume did not continue. And because of it, we got a huge rip down. And so I'm holding, and at that point, I'm holding this position, and it's whatever, 400, like a negative $400 loss. So I'm looking at my realized, which is negative like 140. And now I'm holding this position with PETZ at negative like 400. I'm going, are you kidding me? And I just see the volume die out. I'm like, this is gonna be hard to get out of with a. And so now I've gotten to the point where, okay, I'm definitely gonna cross the 200 mark. But I played this trick with myself where I almost negotiated this, where I was like, hey, well, if I'm still holding it and I haven't sold it yet, I could potentially ride it out, because we could possibly get a pop through somewhere and maybe sell for just a little less of a loss, or break even, or even profit. And so I played that trick with myself, because I was technically at that moment in time way past my negative 200 max loss for the day, but I was still in this trade. So I thought to myself, okay, I'll hold this trade and I can focus on anything else that pops up. And so actually that kind of worked out for me today, okay? So problem is, I eventually had to take the loss on PETZ, which was like a negative, like a $600 loss. Huge loss there, okay? What happened was I kept that on the sidelines and moved on over to BKKT, because this is what I see happening. Is we get this whole area of consolidation. Looks like it's going to, we moved up here. I tried to get in here and kind of chased it around, and was worried it was going to break down, because this was all chop, and I got chopped around so much, and I thought, Jesus, this is difficult. But this is showing a little bit more momentum, and if it sticks, it might be a good thing. And so here we get a consolidation and this hardcore rip up, and I just couldn't jump in time. I guess I was not looking at this at that split second, and it ran, and I was able to catch it right here at like the split second before it went into the halt here. I actually threw in a freaking Hail Mary trade. And what was that? It wasn't a huge amount. What was my initial amount? I went in and bought 100, I think it was 100 shares. Sorry, give me one second, I'll verify. 13. Let's see here. $14.14. Nope. Here we go. 1302. 100 shares. Okay. So, I'm holding that, right? And I get in, and I'm thinking, oh, this could be good. This could be bad. Anyways, it popped, and what did I do? I think I actually held it. Yeah, I didn't sell. Okay. I held it. And this is what confused the hell out of me, is why did we go? I don't understand this. Maybe somebody can clarify for me, but why did we go into a halt right here? I understand when the stock rips and it goes past a certain percentage in a certain amount of time, boom, it'll go into a halt, when it's ripping either to the upside or downside. But as we opened up here, I was watching it, and I go, let me hold it. This could be a freaking Hail Mary trade. And I held it. We get into that second candle, and then it goes right into a halt. Now, tell me why that halted right here. There had to be some other reason. I think I saw that it might be a T1. I guess there's different reasons for halts, and they're labeled differently. I think this might have been a T1. Correct me if I'm wrong. But maybe that was the reason why this did this. But to me, there wasn't a big enough drop or rise on this candle to justify it going into a halt. So there had to be some other reason. But I looked at that and go, what the hell? Because I'm used to halts because of they're so volatile. They're either going up or down, and they have to automatically halt them. But this had to be another reason. So I'm in it. I'm thinking, okay, it'll open up and I'll just try to get a pop and sell or whatever. So we got in a halt for such a long time, and then I just go, what the hell's going on here? This could be really bad. I don't know. And we eventually opened up and it just popped huge. And I decided, you know what? This is a crazy market right now. This is not the typical market we've had, you know, last 2 weeks where everything's much slower. And, you know, I think like as of last week or the week before, it would have been a great idea to sell into kind of these rips, because I don't think we'd have this kind of continuation with these crazy huge percent gainers. But now that the market is hot, I'm thinking differently about this strategy and going, oh shit, this thing, if it continues and it holds somewhere, it's gonna go further. So I'm holding. Okay, it wasn't a massive share size for me anyways. You know, $2,000. I wish it would have been a lot more. Anyways, moral of the story here, guys, I'm holding, and what I have been doing here is holding through the whole thing. Now I did decide to add in a little bit once I realized we opened up again and went up again. We had this pullback, and then we started doing the whole halt business, but it looked like it was kind of holding this area slightly. So there were a few times I bought in with 100 shares and sold again. I think it was 1 or 2 like scalp trades in here that just put a little bit of profit onto the table, but I kept holding my original allotment from this move. And what I decided to do is go, okay, let's do this whole strategy. If we get a decent dip, maybe I can add in a little bit more, because I think this thing is really going to get legs and really move. And if we go to after hours, it's going to, you know, could explode. So what I'll do is I'll add maybe a little bit, not a drastic amount. And once we eventually push higher, I'm just going to sell off bits and pieces of it. So that's exactly what I did. So once we got to breaking over in this area, breaking what the whole 28 spot, I decided, okay, I'm going to sell 10 shares, sell another 10 shares. And I just made brackets basically, selling at whatever it was. I did 24, 25, 23, and then I started moving up a bit, 30, 33, 31, once I saw it ripping more and more, 36. So it was good. I think a good move for me, and I slowly eased out of it, because there's always the potential for the thing to crash, right? So I wanted to, oh, we just executed another trade here. Awesome, at 41. See, this thing's ripping after hours. And that's what I thought kind of might happen. And I thought, hey, this thing could freaking open up at $80 tomorrow, 100. We don't know. So let me just save a couple stashes and I'll throw out higher bids or offers towards the end of the day, just to unload some of it. And then maybe I'll keep just a little bit for tomorrow to see if it really opens up big, and then sell tomorrow. So that's kind of been my plan. And that is what helped me move from, let's see, negative. Okay, with PETZ, that's where I crossed that $200 mark and went to negative 646. So I broke my rule there, and I was pissed. But I saw the potential with BKKT, and I thought, you know what? Maybe the rules I made, they were in frustration to my big loss. And I think the rules are they're rules, so you're supposed to stick to them. And obviously I broke them. I think they're good to have, but once again, you have to be able to willing to adjust so much when the market's hot versus when the market's cold. And I knew with this push we had with BKKT, we're still hot in the market, and this is worth sometimes those Hail Mary passes where you're holding, you know, and there's of course a risk involved with that. We had a couple other stocks today that did rip and they crumbled. This was kind of one of them, REDU. I think I tried to hop in for 1 or 2 trades on this, and it dropped. But it looks kind of like it's kind of holding something. But there was another one I traded. I forgot what it was. GRNQ. This one, it was an absolute joke. And it's hard to decipher sometimes these differences between these stocks that run up and sell off versus the ones that run up and consolidate and then have a huge another run. It's sometimes you really have to look at the catalysts and the news, and sometimes they're just pump and dumps. And when the market's hot, sometimes you're willing to jump in and everything. And this one I lost big on. I think it was like a $200 or $300 loss. And I think I jumped in here, had the huge sell off, and I was like, God, you're kidding me. But hey, I sold it, got rid of it. So at least I'm happy with that. It was a loss. But yeah, so as of the moment, I'm sitting up on the day $264 thanks to BKKT and just the holding power that I put to this, realizing the potential. There's a lot of traders on it and it could keep going. So at the moment, I'm still holding, let's see, 110 shares of BKKT at a price of $21.93. So I'm in right in here. So it was so worth the getting greedy and holding, because I'm currently up at the moment after hours here, sitting, since it's trading at $41. I'm up $2,000 on the name, and that's unrealized. But that's where I'm sitting right now. So, and I just actually, well, let me, here we go. So realized on the day, now I'm up 433 because I just had an order that triggered. And so up $433 and still holding a position that is $2,000 in the green. You know, I could sell all of it. I'm just going to try to keep those brackets going and put them a little bit higher and higher and sell off small pieces of it. 10 shares here, 10 shares there, and then wait for tomorrow to see what we get, because even if it does flush, I think I'll be okay getting rid of most of the position. So anyways, this was kind of been a little bit longer one, but I wanted to review that for you guys and tell you how I struggled with these rules. We talk about rules all the time, and they're very important, but I want to know how you guys feel about this as well. Have you guys, since Friday or Thursday, and you made some bad trades, decided to make some hard set rules and then realize maybe that doesn't work for you because, you know, the market is crazy and it's sometimes illogical, and it just doesn't, you know, things just run because so many traders jump on them. So I think, like in this case, it's working out for me, changing that strategy last minute and, you know, holding to things that really show momentum. But so I don't feel that bad about breaking some of the rules. But I should have thought about that in the sense of, if we have a hot market, I need to adjust those rules. But I think if it does slow down, I'll have to go back to probably going back to those rules, because that max loss of $200 was a very tight loss for me. Doesn't give me much leeway at all. So maybe that would be a better rule when it's kind of a slower trading season. And maybe I should have the max loss maybe a little bit higher, you know, if, I don't know, 500 something, maybe 800, but I don't know. That's what's difficult about the rules. Sometimes you can be rewarded for doing the wrong things. But like I said, I think it's more important to understand how the market is currently acting. And right now, to me, especially with this stock, it's on fire. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please let me know below how you traded today, how it all went for you. If you're red or if you're green, let me know how you traded BKKT. Are you holding it? What's your average cost? Are you holding from tomorrow for a big thing. But hey, this could turn out to be a repeat of, you know, BKKT could be a replay of DWAC or Fun, you know, where we get a huge run up pre-market and then it just dumps. So you got to be ready for that. That's kind of what I'm anticipating, that tomorrow we open up maybe higher and then market opens and I don't know, flushes. I don't know if we can get a continuation. We might, who knows? But maybe save a few shares for like another Hail Mary pass. So that's it, guys. Take care. I hope you enjoy this one. We'll see you tomorrow.